Kris.
And I'm Wyatt Elliott from Notebook Entertainment.
This is HORRORLAND News. So last week we did not get our review of M3gan out. We're probably still going to do it. We'll just be late to the party, that's all.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a big weekend filming for our other channel, and a lot of planning and stuff went into that, and so some things had to get thrown to the wayside, unfortunately.
Someone had to get all into makeup and costume.
Yeah, I had to be an imp.
Yeah, very fun. Yeah, so good news is, though, we got a lot of our Valentine's ones done
out of the way. So we can focus more on this channel now that those other big things are done with the other channel.
So that's very helpful.
Helps us a lot. So let's get into today's topics with TV Roundup.
No TV and no beer make Homer something.
All right, so big news from last week that came out right after we filmed, so we couldn't get it in there. But Chucky has been renewed for season 3 on Sci-Fi, and I'm very happy about this.
I feel like it was announced the day we shot it.
Right.
It was right
as
after.
We're filming it, it's like, turn on Twitter, there's Don Mancini, there's Jennifer Tilly, there's,
But we're thrilled nonetheless because we love this show, obviously. This show needs to go on forever, so.
And they've once again been honored with nominations from the GLAAD Awards for Best Drama. Outstanding Drama Series is what they call it in those award shows.
Right.
But yeah, so I'm thrilled. They finally showed non-binary characters, I think, properly. It does take probably a gay man to help get those ideas across better than cis straight people creators.
He's been trying to do it since 2006 was Seed of Chucky.
Yeah. So I think they did great with the way they handled Glenn and Glenda. I loved it. I loved how at the end, spoiler alert, they go back into the one single body. Yeah. I just want to say that they have to. It's been established now. Devin Saw has to come back as another character in season 3.
Yes, I hope he has.
He has to.
And just keep it going. That's the joke.
Yep.
Just keep it going.
Just keep it going.
Because that is the beauty of Chucky, is that it's got that campiness enough to it that it can get away with that stuff.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. All right, so also in TV Roundup, for those who are fans of the TV series and book series, Vampire Academy has been canceled at Peacock after 1 season. It's sounding a little Netflixy. Their reasons, apparently, according to Deadline, they're positing that the execs at Peacock were actually happy with the show, but that it didn't find its big enough audience. After 1 season, it didn't find a big enough audience. What are they? I can't with all these streaming services. You give shows not even a season, because some of these shows get canceled halfway through their first season.
And I think that the streamers need to be more open to Nielsen ratings, because they do report to Nielsen ratings now, but it takes months for them to get their data.
And Netflix is they're notorious about hiding
their
numbers.
Won't. Yeah, Netflix won't show them at all, and Disney Plus is about it. But they, and I think HBO Max was starting to hide theirs since Zaslav took over. But they need to put it out there. I don't know what the requirement is, but I think that fans need to see that people aren't watching this stuff and showing that the ratings are bad.
Show us, because the minute a show gets canceled, suddenly it's everywhere, and everyone's like, why are they canceling the show? And it's okay, all these quiet supporters, because not everyone is very vocal about their fandoms and stuff.
And I don't know, maybe it really is not getting watched. I really have no idea.
But what are their standards, too? Are they just comparing every show to what Stranger Things can pull in? Because Stranger Things isn't going to,
Yeah, I don't know what they would compare it to, because Peacock doesn't have The Office.
The Office probably still gets their most hits on that show, on that streaming service.
They've been pushing a lot of movies and docuseries on there, so maybe that's where they're finding it.
I don't know. But the point is I understand the short-term cost cutting, but like I said last week, long-term, you're making it harder for people to invest in the shows that you do start, because then they're like, well, why am I getting involved in this show if it's only getting canceled?
Yeah. Well, I do know that Netflix especially, and a couple of the other streamers, HBO Max was one of them before they started making cuts, they're putting too much money into some of these shows. They just are throwing money at it, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but if the show isn't a proven success or a show
right
or whatever,
away,
yeah,
then they're
maybe
like, oh.
raise their budget as they go or something.
Right.
I don't know anything about Vampire Academy. I've never seen it. Don't really.
All I know is it's
know
a book
about
series.
it,
I didn't
so.
read it.
Yeah.
I was a Vampire Diaries age girl. I think I'm too old for the Vampire Academy. That was.
So I don't know, but I hope if you're a fan of it, you know.
I mean, I hope you enjoyed the first season.
Yeah.
But I saw a tweet from someone, and I don't remember who it was, so I wish I could credit them, but I just saw it randomly while scrolling. But someone said that it should be the law that if a streaming service cancels a show after one season, then the creators get one 90-minute TV movie to wrap everything up.
Well, that's what is it? Peacock? Someone's doing a wrap up finally on it's Paramount Plus on Teen Wolf or whatever.
Yeah,
I think it was a show that
was on
canceled
MTV.
And didn't
Yep.
end
It was a huge show on MTV.
Yeah, and now I notice I've just seen a lot of commercials for like a movie, and it's sounding like it's like a wrap up movie. So
Yep. Which I think is fair.
I think that is fair, especially.
I would have loved if Freaks and Geeks could have gotten a finish-up movie.
Well, yeah, because the problem is like these shows, they're anticipating more, so if they leave you on a cliffhanger, well, then what, you know?
Fuck you.
Hell, even Alf finally got a movie to finish
Don't watch
off
the
his
Alf
season.
movie. Don't watch the Alf movie.
Remember Alf? He's back in pod form.
All right, so let's move on to Trailer Park. All right, so the big movie that came out was the Scream 6 trailer.
I'm kind of. She hasn't told me her thoughts on it because she literally refused to watch
refused to watch it because I was like, the teaser that they put out pissed me off. So I was like, it reminded me of the train scene from Final Destination 3 at the end of Final Destination. That's why I was like, this teaser is stupid. Like, it just reminds me of the train scene at the end of Final Destination 3. But so I put off watching it, so I absolutely had to for this show.
And
I hate the killer having a shotgun before he's unmasked. I don't care if they have it. They've always had it after they're unmasked. They have their guns. I don't care about that. But the thing is Ghostface is supposed to be a commentary on slasher movies. Slashers don't use guns because the beauty of the slashers and why people are fans of slasher movies is the creativity that goes into kills. I mean, in the first one, you got him killing Cece with a garage door.
Well, that's
like,
why...
that's beautiful. It's stupid, but it's beautiful.
That's why, as much as I've thought about, well, how come there's never been a slasher famous killer that uses guns, and maybe we could develop one, but they're not.
It takes no creativity to shoot a gun.
To shoot a gun is just it's violent, it's threatening, it's scary,
but there's no tension because you can't fight someone with a gun. Like someone's coming to stab you, you can get into a fight, and that gives you some tension and stuff on will they get killed or not. But with a gun, it's like bang, okay, dead, got it.
But I will say this: one, it looks like in the trailer he picked up the shotgun from there was like robbers maybe.
It doesn't matter. There's a million things in that store he could have killed that guy with.
True.
Like slamming his head in the freezer door would have been a better option than just shooting him. I hate it. I hate it. It's so uncreative.
But the other thing he says is there's a line in the trailer where he says that he's unlike any other ghost.
Which is stupid too. And it's like none of them have been the same person.
Well,
so they're all different.
Well,
no one has been the same ghost. Like
honestly,
they're all different. They all have different motives. They all have different.
And honestly, that kind of irks me in a way too. After all this time, and now that they're kind of getting away from
Wes Craven and Nev Campbell,
why are they still wearing ghost face masks? If you think about it, like I hope they explain it. You know,
well, it looks like there's gonna be some kind of like Ghostface cult or something because they walk into that warehouse or whatever, and they've got all the costumes.
Well, I like the way online people were upset and pointing out that the new mask is very resemblance of Michael Myers' beat up mask in the reboot series.
That's because and there's my problem with it. It was like Halloween did it. Okay, cool. You didn't need Scream doing it. You didn't need Texas Chainsaw doing it. I understand Scream did it as like a commentary on the requels or whatever, but they didn't do it well, in my opinion. I know there's some people that love Scream 5. That's fine. It's not, not everything for everybody. That's fine.
Right.
You're entitled to like it. I hate Scream 5 for many of what I consider valid reasons. And Scream 6 is not looking any better because it's just, once you remove the mask, then they're no longer this, like, mythical, unkillable monster. They're just human. So then a human having a gun, fine. But when they're under the mask, you want your slasher to be creative. You want them to come up with new ways to kill people. You want the stab fight. So you want that.
Yeah.
Like I said, if he had just pushed that guy up against the cooler, opened the door, and then smashed his head with the cooler, way cooler kill than just, bang, you're dead.
Which...
And more impact. Because if I see
yeah.
someone at a gas station with a gun, okay, that happens all the time. If I see someone at a gas station slamming some dude to death with the door, that's scary.
I'm hoping it's just a one-time
I'm hoping
scene.
it's a one scene and he doesn't use guns the whole time.
me
But
too.
still, even that one scene, it takes you out of it because you're like, oh damn, like he just shot a guy instead of, oh damn, he just slammed that guy's head in the freezer. Like
I do really want, and maybe they'll do it in this one, but I was really hoping for it in 5. I want to have more than just 2 killers. I think they should have either just one.
Like I said, I think it's going to be like a
them.
cult.
Yeah.
The way that they're setting it up, it looks like there's going to be like a whole cult of them.
That's
whatever.
fine. Then they can just kill them as they go.
Because cults worked well for like Halloween and Jeepers Creepers and all the other ones that have suddenly decided they needed cults.
I don't know if it worked in Jeepers Creepers.
Nothing worked in Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Nothing worked. Check out our review of that, which is basically us just shitting on that movie for an hour. But here are my other thoughts on the Scream trailer, besides the gun. I can't wait for Kirby to return. I'm very excited about that. Gail's probably going to die. I'm okay with that. Without Dewey, I think
she serves no purpose.
It's not that she serves no purpose. I think she's at the end of her character's growth. Because her growth involved a lot of growing up and not being so rigidly into her reporter thing, you know, and like seeing people as people and, you know.
Yeah. It almost looks like they're going to open the movie with her death as well.
I don't know because she's in that scene later where they find the ghost face things. Like, I don't know. But she's probably going to die, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, absolutely. Jenna Ortega, Tara, should be the star of this movie, not Sam.
They do make a reference
Melissa Barrera.
They do make a reference to Ghost Billy in it, so I'm guessing he's back.
If Ghost Billy is in this movie, I will stand up in the theater and just scream at the fucking screen. Like, I can't.
But if they're gonna have
dumbass Ghost Billy, it's the worst addition.
We need to have Ghost Matthew Lillard come back.
There's something that I know Ghost. Like, what? I can't with the Billy Ghost.
They already have Billy Ghost. They already have Ghost, and now they're going to New York. So Scream 7 is in space. That's all.
I'm fine with Scream 7 in space. I liked when Jason went to space.
Think about it. In space, no one can hear you scream.
It's a beautiful tagline. Beautiful tagline.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine with them going campy. It's just the decisions they've been making are real out there and questionable.
I think all horror franchises eventually.
They all get to that point, right? We had 4 good Scream movies.
You
gotta break the streak at some point. Like, all right, so let's move on from Scream and trailers and my anger, my unjustified anger, to our news segment. So Sean S. Cunningham, who was involved in Friday the 13th, all that. That's how you know him. He's super busy in development on several projects with writer Jeff Locker. The first is a reboot of his 1985 movie House. I don't know how many of you have seen House.
Yeah. Really? They want to do
a reboot.
Oh boy.
Jeff Locker is quoted as saying, "The House reboot is both an update and reimagining of the classic series, centering around the birth of a haunted house. Lots of great scares and howl at the screen laughs. Plus, we're bringing back a few of your favorite monsters from the original for some really fun but equally terrifying kills. I'm working on the script as we speak, and all I can say is I'm having a fucking blast." So they're in pre-production on it, obviously.
It sounds like they're gonna still keep it a comedy because House was kind of a horror comedy.
I mean, how can it not be that concept? It
wasn't. I remember when I saw that as a kid. I loved the poster of the zombie hand ringing the doorbell, and I had in my head that it was this terrifying dead come back to life movie. And I finally saw it when it was on TV, and I was like, "What the heck am I watching?" But Richard Mall was in it, and I love Night Court.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything about anybody.
And then House 2 was just way worse, but
You should watch. If you haven't watched, you should watch the House series.
And supposedly, I've never seen it, but I've seen people talk about it. They did make a House 3, but it was direct-to-video.
I haven't seen it.
And apparently it's under different titles. Like they kept... It was made as House 3, but then it wasn't House 3. Because it was so bad.
Right.
But yeah. I don't remember what it's called, though.
All right, and then the next thing he's also working on is an original project called The Night Driver. It's a film about an everyday salesman who regularly drives across the country selling pharmaceuticals. One night, on a back road, he encounters a madman who seems to be following him, leaving a trail of bodies in his wake. All he wants to do is make it home alive to his family at any cost. And by the time it's over, he realizes that he's either escaped the terror or it's followed him home.
All right.
So, and then the last thing that he's working on is a Friday the 13th reboot.
I did read about this.
The problem, there's still rights issues. Yeah. Victor Miller, the OG screenwriter, he joined Brian Fuller for the Crystal Lake show. So they're working on that. But Jeff Walker had this to say. Obviously, the prequel TV series has reignited interest about a new film, so we're hoping the surrounding excitement will inspire both sides to come together and give us Jason on the big screen again for the first time in 14 years. But we also have a plan B for a sequel to the original we think fans will absolutely love and should avoid any legal entanglements. So they have a plan B if they can't get their reboot.
Copycat killer, because they don't have the rights to the Jason name, right? They can use the hockey face mask because he's an adult there, while the first screenplay he didn't have that.
They can't use the image of young Jason. They can't use the name Jason Voorhees, and they can't use his mother.
Or the name Friday the 13th. So it'd be like that's why they started calling him Jason Goes to Hell or Jason X and stuff like that. Okay. So, well, if that's what you got to do.
Yeah, do what you got to do, guys.
Do what you got to do.
So we'll keep you updated on all these projects as they continue moving forward. But that's all I've got right now.
I will say this. If it ends up going forward and, there's, multiple Jason projects going on, people were smart enough to figure it out. I think most people are these days, but I think it'd be better if they keep one on TV and one in the movies.
Yep.
Then at least you
and
got
keep
separation.
it the prequel. Keep the TV series a prequel like it is, and then let the movies
move forward.
Move forward.
Yeah, with whatever that is.
Make your own MCU of Jason,
Jason
Friday the 13th.
X. I mean, you could
cinematic universe.
You could always do Jason X too.
I love that actually. All right, so moving on. Our favorite YouTube horror channel, Dead Meat, they got the attention in a Hollywood Reporter article, blah, 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 that did basically a spotlight on James and the channel.
Oh, nice.
Which is awesome for them.
That is awesome.
But they left out Chelsea's contribution to the channel, which Chelsea started the podcast, the Dead Meat podcast. She started it. She still runs it to this day. She does a lot of work behind the scenes. James, because of the kill counts, has become the face of the channel. But Chelsea is still there. She still helped create it.
She's even done some kill counts.
James requested that the online article be updated to include, because they got the print article and saw that, they credited him as starting the channel, as starting the podcast. And so he asked that their online article be updated to include it, but they kind of messed up the update too.
Oh boy.
However, since speaking out, now both Chelsea and James have posted about it, but Chelsea posted more about it because she's been having to defend herself. Because the first time she posted about it, you had a bunch of people coming at her telling she's just making, she wants to see everything is sexist and blah, blah, blah. There's nothing sexist, man or woman, about wanting to get credit for the work that you do.
Agreed.
There's nothing wrong with that. At all.
And we've experienced this, where a lot of times where if someone's going to write, so we got a lot of press back when we were doing our zombie sitcom. She created it. She wrote every episode. She directed some of the episodes and was a producer, makeup artist, everything basically. I held the camera, and edited and stuff. Who got all of the credit? Who got all of the created by, stuff when they would interview us? Who would they look at all the time when they interviewed us?
And I'm louder, so to look at him, you have to really want to ignore me.
Yep. So I get it, Chelsea.
Yep,
we get it.
We get it. And
without going into a lot of details, which I don't know that he even has, but I know that James is experiencing some family issues right now, and that he's having to take some time off. Guess who's stepping up and getting the content out there and everything? Chelsea. She spent hours making these wrestling characters in the wrestling game to look like horror characters, so they can do like this Royal Rumble, which people are loving.
Yep.
And James was on Twitter saying like, "You guys don't have any idea how much work she's put into this." James didn't have time. James didn't do it. She did it.
Yep. And I do appreciate James standing by her and being like, "No, it was her." Like,
no, James seems like a good guy.
They're such good people. I love them both. If you, I mean, our channel is obviously way smaller than theirs, but if you are somehow watching us and haven't seen Dead Meat, please go check out their channel.
Yeah.
You're gonna find amazing content. The kill counts are amazing. I love them.
Oh yeah, this channel wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for Dead Meat.
No.
For sure.
No, they're my inspiration for starting it. I started this channel.
I'm just standing here.
The other one's his channel. This one's my channel. All right, so our final story for the news segment, M3gan 2 has been greenlit.
2.0.
2.0, M3gan 2.0.
We all knew it was coming.
Right, so I'm very excited to have her and Chucky continue fighting on Twitter, because that's always fun
I
to
can't
watch.
wait for the inevitable M3gan versus Chucky
I can't
movie.
wait. I can't wait.
They're both Universal.
It's gonna be amazing.
They already have Twitter battles.
Yep. If they don't make it, they're stupid.
They're very stupid.
Because I'll watch the hell out of M3gan versus Chucky.
Yeah, and whether if we don't get to a review or not, we'll just say we do like M3gan. It had its little bit of issues here and there.
It was slow in the beginning, but that's why I told him, I said, this movie was good. A sequel is going to be fucking amazing, because then they don't have to do the work of all the setup to explain M3gan. We already know what M3gan is.
Exactly.
So we can get right into it.
Yeah, so M3gan 2.0 is going to be great.
Yep.
So I don't think we have much else to say about it.
No, because there's not much else.
It's coming.
It's
you guys
coming.
all know it's coming.
Woohoo!
Keep seeing it. Jason Blum keeps tweeting about how well it's doing at the
he
box office.
keeps the Rotten Tomato scores. He's like, wow.
Right, yeah. So I think you're all making his day. But, that's the thing. You make cheap movies and you keep them cheap. You can make easier profits and and make them good and make them entertaining.
Yep. Oh, M3gan's entertaining. Like I said, it just starts a little slow for my taste, but it had some setting up it needed to do. So.
Don Mancini, though, for Chucky season 3, you need to have a dance. Chucky needs to come up with a dance.
Chucky needs a dance now. Everybody's got to dance.
All right.
All right, so let's move on to Indie Film Spotlight.
My advice to young filmmakers, make a movie every week. Make films, no matter what anybody says, and you'll be a filmmaker.
Today, we're talking about a fan film called Halloween Stalks. Ooh. Yeah, of course, that came across my YouTube,
Yeah, it just came out like 5 days ago or something,
it was last week it came out. It's only 14 minutes, 20 seconds, so it's not super long. And it's on the Halloween Stalks YouTube channel. So it's got its own YouTube channel just for the film.
There we go.
Director is Dominic Cousineau Benoit. I'm very sorry if I said that wrong. I don't speak French. The cast, we've got Lauren, played by Anne-Julie Prolu. Paul, played by Stephen McLean Rogers. Thanks for having an easy name.
Yeah, right.
And The Shape is played by Benoit Sensauci.
Was this made in Canada or something?
It has to have been.
I'll bet
With
it
those
was.
French names, it had to have been in Canada.
It definitely didn't feel like it was made in Paris.
Right. No. Yeah, no. Quebec or something.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'll bet it was.
So I really like in this movie that the opening credits mimic the opening credits of the movies. Like, instead of the pumpkin or whatever, it's his mask.
Yeah, I like that too.
But the mask, it kind of slowly backs away from it as the credits play, and it's got the original music, John Williams music.
Yeah, I don't know if it's his or a cover of it, but it is.
It sounds incredibly close.
Yeah, so either way, like they must not be worried about copyright.
Well, they credited him, so if they are crediting him, they're using his music.
And I would imagine if you get a copyright strike on that, the money should go to John Carpenter, so maybe that's their way of paying him,
Right,
there
maybe.
you go.
And I also like that they used the Mr. Sandman song, which
I did too,
for some reason after H2O got linked to this series.
No, it was in Halloween 2 originally.
Was it?
Yeah, Halloween 2
That's
used
right.
it in the opening, then H2O.
I just remember H2O more because Skate in the face in the opening. Like, how do you forget Skate to the face?
And see, that's how I know that, because I remember we mentioned this earlier. Well, I couldn't remember which one I'd seen first. I'd seen Halloween 2 first, and this confirms it, because I thought that was his theme song when I first saw it. Yeah.
No. No, but I think it was after H2O that for some reason everybody associated that. So I know it was in Halloween 2.
It's pretty iconic.
But H2O
yeah.
made it freaking iconic.
Probably.
It just, God,
Yeah.
I don't. And I don't know why. Like it should be for Freddy, like with dreams and.
I know,
like,
yeah.
I don't understand
I guess because
why.
he's a boogeyman, maybe?
guess.
I
I
don't
know.
Mr. Sandman never made any sense.
It doesn't make any sense,
Even
but
as a
it
kid
fits,
watching
like, I
it,
don't
being
know.
like, yeah, because it's an old song, and old songs have a creepy feel to
They
them. When you
do.
put old song, happy old songs to horrible things, it gives it a very creepy feel. And so I get it. But no, I don't understand the connection at all. The movie doesn't even take place in the 50s.
The feel of it was a lot more like 1 and 2 than any of the more recent ones. So I did like that a lot too.
Which I think was good because, and of course, Halloween Stalks, that's what it's called, but it had that stalking feeling. Is there somebody there? Shape in the shadows, all that kind of
It
stuff.
even opened with the mask eye holes and stuff.
And I don't remember where, but the guy says something to her about sticking somebody to the wall.
Yeah, and then he gets stuck to the wall.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. Like,
But yeah, and he said he noticed it, and I noticed it. At one point, she sees Michael out in the thing, and he disappears behind the shed, and she's like, "There was a shape out there. I saw a shape."
Yeah,
And so I like that little callback.
I like the subtle references. What makes me think that this is is that this feels like it was made by fans. Like this was somebody who all the little quotes in there, all the little references. You know, I'm not saying Halloween remake wasn't made by fans because they were fans of it clearly, but this definitely felt like it was from the heart.
Yeah, exactly. Something from the heart to their favorite series. I do wish that the kills had been shown. Like she finds the guy. So we don't get to see, the head tilt as he sticks him up on the wall. He does do the head tilt later.
He does. I wonder, though, did they cut it out for YouTube or did they...
Right, is there a longer version somewhere?
Right. That's kind of my thought, but I don't know.
And then the very end kill, the last kill, is completely off screen. All you see is the house exterior and her screaming, and then Michael walks out, and then you hear someone call out to the house, the neighbors that live there. They're like, "Hey, you guys okay over there?" And Michael, turns and walks off. It's amazing. But I was telling him, I bet I know why that last kill was so off screen, because the location they rented, they probably couldn't get blood on. Because I'm like, indie film.
Yeah, that's
some locations are like, okay, you can do whatever you want here, but don't make a mess. You can't use fake blood.
Right.
You can't,
Yeah.
And so this house that they're using, probably they were like, we can't get this dirty. Like, we can't afford to clean this.
Well,
so.
Yeah, again, we know this because we've had to do that on films with houses that we've used because we've made mistakes.
Yep.
And
then there's blood on the carpet.
Blood on the carpet. We did that.
Sorry, Joyce and
yeah, we definitely did that. But so whoever owns that house now, and you're wondering where that pink spot came from. But yeah, and when we made our Scream spoof, we didn't use any blood or anything in that because we were just like,
we can't get the blood anywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm betting that's why it's completely, because it's indie film,
which makes a lot of sense to me.
Yep.
So it's probably either that or they knew it was going to go on YouTube and they knew they had to center it anyways.
Well, that's what I think for the first one, because like I said, you do see blood on the guy when they find his body, but I think it was just easier to find the body rather than show the kill, probably.
Yeah, of course.
And then, but that scene could have gotten cut out. There could be a scene of that guy getting killed. But I think because she's in the house, I really think the fact that they didn't show any of it, just her screaming, I really think it's a location issue.
You got to get creative sometimes.
Correct us if we're wrong, Director Dominic, but that's what I'm thinking happened. Understandable.
Work with what you got.
Right.
That's what I always say.
Still like the movie.
Yeah.
I just wish it was a little gorier, but that's just my personal taste.
The gory cut.
Right.
Halloween Stalks, the gory. Who knows? If you are watching this, if there's a gorier version, let us know. Yeah. Because it could be on Vimeo or something, for all I know.
Yeah, I didn't look at the thing, so he could have a link to it somewhere in his video. I had to find a video real quick, and I was like, this one will work.
Yeah, and it just came out, so maybe they'll release a director's cut later, too.
Yeah. Who knows? So check it out, Halloween Stalks YouTube channel for Halloween Stalks fan film. Like I said, it's less than 15 minutes, so you can do this.
Yeah, and like I was telling her too, I like the way Michael Myers looks old school in it. He's very 1978 looking. Looks really good. Like it's not a cheap mask for sure.
No.
I'm not even sure if it is a Halloween mask. They may have made it.
Yeah, I think I saw something in the credits, in the opening credits, where it said something about the mask manipulation or something like that.
Because that's none of the ones off the rack are gonna work. It's like like she paints all the ones we use. You know, if we're gonna use something off the rack, she paints it. Makes it look way better. So, but on that note, check out the movie, and then also we'll have the link below for all the stories we talked about here. And while you're down there, make sure you hit the like for this video and subscribe.
And the bell.
And the bell. Because the bell will let you know when we put new videos out. And we do have lots of content.
Could be at any moment.
Any moment. But at least on Mondays we got horror.
At least Mondays Horrorland news comes out.
All right, guys. On that note, I think I've taken up enough of your time. I will go shut up now.
And I'll go talk over here.
Okay, bye.
I'm really sorry. I kind of traded your soul to the guy at the comic book store. But look, I got some cool pogs. Elf pogs. Remember Elf? He's